Hi everybody, it's Alex. Welcome to Guiding Creatives, the podcast and community for creatives, freelancers, multipotentialites. Any creative career or passion you have, there's a space for you here. Today is following October's theme of the spooky and scary sides of being a creative or being a freelancer. And today is pretty scary for me, but it's definitely going to be something you can learn from. So the reason it's so spooky for me is because I'm about to be very vulnerable with you right now. I'm going to share the top 5 mistakes that I've made, that I'm still making, and that I battle with almost every day that can cost you your career, can make it harder for you to grow, or can just ruin everything in a moment's notice. So that's why it's so scary, but yeah, we're definitely going to learn. So let's dive into my little house of horrors. So the number one mistake that I've dealt with again and again is not raising your prices soon enough. I know it can be scary to raise your prices, and sometimes you feel like you're asking for too much, even though deep down you know the value and the time and the expertise you're putting in are worth it. Because there's so many people around you doing it for cheaper, sometimes you feel like an imposter. So it's a part of imposter syndrome. But it's not just like a battle for, oh, you could be making more money. If you do not raise your prices and you get a good reputation, you have a great service and a great delivery, you will get a rush of orders, okay? You will get a rush of clients. And if you do not have a team, if you do not have limits, if you do not have ways to really streamline this process, you could ruin everything. There is something to supply and demand. If you're in high demand, you cannot spread yourself thin or only take on a few clients at a very cheap price. You need to think about your income to survive, to have a good life, but also income that matches the work you need to put in. It has to be sustainable, and if you are overworking and getting underpaid, it's not just impacting you. It's going to impact your deliverables. It's going to impact your reputation, and it can ruin everything. I'm not joking. I've experienced this every season, every quarter. I go through learning more about my pricing and how it should reflect everything about my business, not just my imposter syndrome. The second mistake I've made is leaving any room for interpretation in your service descriptions, in your product descriptions, in your profile, in your qualifications, in your contracts. Do not leave any room for interpretation. Make sure things are clearly stated, even if it's tedious and you have to spend a day writing out these descriptions and like all these disclaimers. Please do it, okay? I'm telling you, please do it. People will see other people's services and assume that you're offering the exact same thing, unless you are very clear that maybe this is not included or it's extra. Or they will think your service is like a promotion of sorts when it's organic. That happens to me a lot. So I had to add a disclaimer. This is not a promotion. And then in my questionnaire or my contract, I tell them to initial and confirm that they understand that this is not a promotion. I know it can feel like overkill. I know it can feel like tedious work that doesn't matter, but the headaches it will save. And listen, if you complete a big order, you spend a lot of time on something, and you are at risk for getting a bad review, or you're at risk for someone asking for a refund because there's some little loophole that they found in your service or your contracts, if you're on a platform, they're going to side with the client. And if you're not on a platform, it's going to be really hard for you to uphold anything if they haven't signed anything confirming that they knew that. I'm just saying, cover your ass, okay? Number 3, this is a mistake that I had recently, is improper communication. I'm launching a membership in the new year, and I'm going to do a workshop on how to really communicate with your clients because it's too much for me to get into right now. But if you are not updating your clients, if you're not explaining to them how the process works, what the deliverable is, and what they can expect to see and when, you're going to have to expect some headaches and some frustrations with your clients. I had a client who didn't understand that they ordered a very basic package. And in this package, it's all about strategy and optimization. So it's a lot of research. And then once I have the research and the strategy complete, in the last couple days, I apply some optimizations, I document everything, and then when I deliver the report, they get to see everything I've done in the background. Because some services you do, there's going to be time where it's just you in your own little cocoon of creativity. And there's some jobs that you're doing things behind the screen, like things they can't see, like keyword research, for example. But when they look on it on day 7 out of 10 and they're like, they've done nothing. They might ask to cancel. They might give you a bad review. They may say something. Part of that is they don't trust, which that's not something you can really control. But you do have to take ownership and responsibility, like I did, that, okay, if my clients are getting confused because they can't see me, they don't know what I'm doing day to day, I need to put in the effort to explain to them how it works, to explain to them that, listen, if you don't see anything by day 7, that's actually normal. On day 10, I'm going to deliver a 50-page report, and you will see every minute and blood, sweat, and tears that I put into this work. That's it. That's all you can do. Listen, improper communication before, during, and after an order or with a client, it can hurt. So work on it. It's better to overdo it than underdo it. That comes to almost everything I'm going to talk about here. It's better to overprice than underprice. It's better to say too much than not at all. And it's better to add too much detail to your contracts than not enough. Just trust me there. Number 4 is one that I am working on. I'm working on it. I am not great at constructive criticism, but you have to understand, when you are creating something for someone, they have something already in their head. It might not meet their expectations. It might not get the immediate results they want. It might not be something you can ever achieve, because some people hire people, but they don't actually care what anyone else can produce if it's not exactly what they want. Sometimes there's legitimate miscommunications. Maybe you put in a lot of black and white and they wanted it to be colorful, but that was never said. Someone might give you some constructive criticism, they might pick up on an error you missed, or they might request a revision. It's not an attack on you, okay? You have to learn to say either, I should have caught that when I was double checking. I'm really bad for that. I'm not going to lie. My final deliverable, I care about the content, not how perfect it is. I've always been like that, because when I try to make it perfect and I focus on that, I'll never deliver. But it is something I need to work on, because I shouldn't deliver things full of typos. So I had a client point that out to me. I felt so insulted. I felt like it was condescending, but it's not. That's a projection. That's not real. And someone may just want a revision. Maybe they want it completely redone because you did it. Maybe it's what they asked for, but it's just not fitting. It's not working, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that you're less of a freelancer or a creative. It doesn't mean that what you did wasn't great. It might not just fit what they're going for, and you have to accept that sometimes. So if you meet clients with hostility, if you meet clients with rudeness, or you're fast to respond and it comes off a little bit negative, you can really risk a positive reputation. You can risk a review. And I mean, some people would even say, if you're going to be this hard to work with, just don't bother. I haven't found myself in that point, because I usually catch myself doing it and I'm really working on it, but it's definitely something that could cost me. So I have to be careful, and you do too. And the 5th and final mistake that a lot of freelancers make, and if you're a creative, you can relate, is relying on a platform, whether that be a freelancing platform like Upwork, a selling platform like Etsy, a social media platform like Instagram. If you are not putting yourself in different areas, if you are not getting leads, clients, sales from a variety of spaces, you are risking a lot. Every day people get their accounts shut down and suspended for no reason. Every day hackers happen. Every day there's somebody looking for you who can't find you. There's somebody who doesn't know that they need what you sell, but they can't find you. So many people don't even know what freelancing platforms are, but they need my work. So why am I not putting that on a website? Why am I not doing in person? Why am I not using social media, right? So it's taken me a really long time, because I've had so many good clients on one platform that I've just stuck with it, and then I'm drowning in my client work, and I haven't had the time to expand. But the more time and energy I put into expanding, the more clients I get outside of this platform, which allows me to have a little bit more freedom. It allows me to relax a little. It allows me to have multiple streams of income and not rely on one single thing. Don't rely on one thing. If you have a platform that's a majority, that's normal and that's fine. But you also want to make sure that you have variety, because reaching financial freedom, the only secret there is having variety. Variety of income or variety of sources to get that income. I'm not saying you have to sell 10 different items. I'm not saying you have to have 10 different businesses. I'm saying you need to have 10 different ways people can find you. It's about how they get to you, not just what you're giving or selling or creating. Those are the things that I've either struggled with or I am struggling with. And listen, some things I'm going to struggle with forever. It's going to have to be an active thing I work on all the time. That's fine. Some things like the descriptions and the communication, you can set that up real quick. Then you don't have to actively be focusing on that all the time and using mental energy there. But I will say, there's definitely more mistakes I've made, so if you want a part 2, let me know. And in the meantime, stay creative. Bye.